What if I told you that mapmakers mistakenly believed this peninsula was a massive floating island for over 100 years, and that, thanks to plate tectonics, it will eventually become one? Or that the United States came incredibly close to annexing this entire territory, completely changing the modern map of North America? Welcome to the Baja California Peninsula, from a sea famously dubbed the Aquarium of the world, to a desert filled with bizarre Dr. Seuss-like trees. Here are 15 incredible geography facts you never knew about Baja California. Stretching an astonishing 775 miles from the bustling United States-Mexico border all the way down to the sun-drenched tourist haven of Cabo San Lucas, the Baja California Peninsula is a geographic marvel. It ranks within the top 15 longest peninsulas on the planet. To put its immense scale into perspective, if you were to lay Baja California across the east coast of the United States, it would stretch almost from New York City down to Jacksonville, Florida. Its slender width, varying from a minuscule 25 miles to roughly 200 miles at its widest point, creates a dramatic landscape where the ocean is almost always within reach. This elongated geography is what gives the peninsula its distinct, isolated character, acting as a massive landmass that bridges the temperate zones of North America with the tropical environments of southern Mexico. The Baja California Peninsula is a land in motion, quite literally ripping itself away from mainland Mexico. This immense geologic drama is driven by plate tectonics. The peninsula sits firmly on the Pacific plate, while the rest of the Mexican mainland rests on the North American plate. The boundary between these two colossal slabs of the Earth's crust is the infamous San Andreas Fault System, which extends southward right through the Gulf of California. As the plates grind past each other, the Pacific plate is slowly but steadily drifting northwest at a rate of approximately 2 inches per year. While this movement is imperceptible on a daily basis, the long-term consequences are much bigger. Millions of years from now, the Baja Peninsula will completely detach from the North American continent, transforming into a massive, isolated island drifting towards Alaska. Nestled between the arid eastern coast of the peninsula and mainland Mexico lies the Gulf of California, also known as the Sea of Cortez. Legendary French oceanographer Jacques Cousteau famously dubbed this body of water the Aquarium of the world, and for good reason. It's universally recognized as one of the most biologically diverse marine environments on the planet. The Gulf's nutrient-rich waters support a complex ecosystem that serves as a crucial breeding ground and migratory corridor for thousands of species. Visitors to these waters can witness the awe-inspiring migrations of massive whale sharks, enormous pods of dolphins, and acrobatic mobulo rays that leap from the sea. Tragically, it's also the exclusive home of the vaquita, the world's smallest and most crucially endangered marine mammal. Protecting this spectacular aquatic sanctuary remains one of Mexico's most vital environmental challenges. When most people envision Baja California, they picture endless coastlines and sun-baked desert expanses. However, a massive granite spine known as the Peninsular Ranges runs directly down the center of the landmass, dramatically altering its climate and topography. These rugged mountains are an extension of the same ranges that dominate Southern California. In the northern section, the Sierra de San Pedro Martir Range hosts the peninsula's highest summit, Picacho del Diablo, or Devil's Peak. Reaching an impressive elevation of 10,157 feet, the peak creates a startling contrast to the surrounding desert. Because of its sheer altitude, this alpine region features dense pine forests and regularly receives significant snowfall during the winter months. This imposing mountain barrier effectively blocks moisture from the Pacific, creating a severe rain shadow that is largely responsible for the peninsula's exceptionally arid eastern desert environments. The extreme isolation of the Central Coast Gulf Desert has created an evolutionary laboratory, resulting in some of the most bizarre and uniquely adapted plant life on Earth. Because the region is cut off from the mainland by the sea and shielded by high mountains, the peninsula boasts incredibly high rates of endemism. The undisputed star of this botanical circus is the bujum tree, known locally as the Cireo. Resembling an inverted carrot or a giant fuzzy telephone pole, these Dr. Seuss-like succulents can reach staggering heights of up to 50 feet and live for several centuries. While highly concentrated in Baja, a small population also grows naturally across the Gulf in a small coastal region of Sonora. Covered in tiny leaves and thorny bark, they store massive amounts of water to survive years without rain. Alongside giant cordon cacti, these strange silhouettes create an otherworldly landscape that feels more like an alien planet than North America. We're going to see how this alien landscape tricked the world's most prominent map makers in just a second. But first, just like those bizarre plants survive in the harsh, hot desert environments, by efficiently absorbing vital nutrients, I want to make sure that my body has the nutritional support it needs to thrive throughout the hot summer months, thanks to today's sponsor, AG1. No matter how well I try to eat, I don't always meet my daily nutritional requirements. That's why I rely on AG1 Next Gen. It's a daily health drink that replaces the guesswork with one powerfully simple scoop. I drink AG1 every single morning and have genuinely noticed a massive difference in my day-to-day health. It features over 75 ingredients and is clinically shown to fill common nutrient gaps. Instead of having a cluttered shelf full of different bottles, it delivers 5 strains of clinically studied probiotics that have been shown to play a role in supporting digestion and alleviating occasional bloating. Because of the superfoods and B vitamins, it provides nutritional and energy support without that afternoon crash. It also helps support a healthy immune system, so you can spend less time overthinking your routine and more time actually living. So go to drinkag1.com/Geoff or scan the QR code on screen now to get a free morning person hat that I'm wearing right now, and get a free AG1 flavor sampler in your welcome kit with your first AG1 subscription order, which is an $82 value. Thanks again to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. Now, while AG1 makes filling common nutrient gaps incredibly simple, for a long time, filling in the map of Baja California was an incredibly confusing process. For roughly a century, some of the world's most prominent map makers shared a colossal geographic misconception. They believed Baja California was a massive floating island. While early Spanish explorers like Francisco de Ulloa correctly identified it as a peninsula in 1539, the island myth gained widespread cartographic traction around 1620, largely due to captured Spanish charts drawn by Friar Antonio de la Ascensión. Consequently, European maps from the 17th and early 18th centuries consistently depicted California as a detached island. Even when the intrepid Jesuit missionary Eusebio Kino mapped the scorching northern land bridge in the early 1700s, his findings were widely dismissed. It wasn't until Ferdinand Conscac mapped the northern Gulf in 1746 that the debate was finally put to rest, prompting King Ferdinand VI of Spain to issue a royal decree in 1747, officially declaring it a peninsula, firmly tethered to the North American continent. The very name California is rooted in fantasy, predating the European discovery of the peninsula itself. The moniker originates from a widely popular 16th century Spanish romance novel called Las Sergas de Esplandian. In the story, the author describes a mythical terrestrial paradise located on the right hand of the Indies. This fictional island was incredibly rich in gold, populated entirely by fierce warrior women, and ruled by the formidable Queen Calafia. When the expeditions of Hernan Cortes reached the sun-baked shores of the peninsula in the 1530s, the explorers were so captivated by the wild, rugged landscape that they had believed that they had actually found the legendary island. They named the territory California in honor of the fictional queen, cementing a literary myth into the permanent geography of North America. During the golden age of the Spanish Empire, the southern tip of Baja California became a notorious playground for swashbuckling pirates and English privateers. For over 2 centuries, heavily laden Manila galleons conducted a lucrative trade route, transporting massive fortunes of silk, spices, and porcelain from the Philippines across the Pacific to the Mexican port of Acapulco. To catch the prevailing winds, these treasure ships were forced to sail dangerously close to the tip of Baja California before heading south. English privateers, most notably Thomas Cavendish in 1587, quickly realized that the hidden, sheltered coves of Cabo San Lucas offered the perfect staging ground for ambushes. From these secluded bays, pirates would launch surprise attacks on the exhausted Spanish crews, seizing immense wealth and turning the remote peninsula into a pivotal battleground in the global struggle for maritime supremacy. When we think of the historic California Mission Trail, iconic cities like San Diego, Santa Barbara, and San Francisco usually come to mind. However, the true birthplace of this expansive network lies deep within the Baja California Peninsula. Decades before the Spanish settled Alta California, the present-day US state, they focused their colonization efforts on the rugged Baja territory. The first permanent mission of the Californias, Mission de Nuestra Señora de Loreto Concho, was established by Jesuit priests in 1697 in the eastern coastal town of Loreto. From this remote desert outpost, the Jesuits, followed by the Franciscans and Dominicans, pushed northward, building a chain of missions connected by El Camino Real, the Royal Road. Loreto served as the religious and administrative capital of the Californias for over a century, acting as the vital launchpad for northward expansion. The political map of North America could look remarkably different today, as the United States came incredibly close to annexing the entire Baja California Peninsula. During the Mexican-American War, US naval forces successfully occupied key coastal towns in Baja, and the American government fully intended to keep the strategic territory. However, the peninsula's fate changed during the tense negotiations of the 1848 Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. While Mexico was forced to cede vast swaths of its northern territory, including modern-day California, Nevada, and Utah, Mexican diplomats fought fiercely and successfully to retain Baja. Their primary motivation was geographic security. Losing the peninsula would grant the United States total sovereign control over the Sea of Cortez, and permanently sever Mexico's overland access connecting the peninsula to the mainland state of Sonora. Thanks to this diplomatic stand, Baja California remains a proud part of Mexico. Despite sharing a continuous landmass and the umbrella name of Baja California, the peninsula is not a single political entity. It's distinctively divided into two separate sovereign Mexican states, Baja California in the north and Baja California Sur in the south. The boundary separating these two regions is not defined by a river, a mountain range, or any other natural geographic feature. Instead, it's an entirely artificial, perfectly straight line drawn across the map exactly at the 28th parallel north latitude. This division was officially established in 1974, when the Southern Territory, which had a much smaller population and was administered directly by the federal government, finally achieved full statehood. Today, crossing the 28th parallel means transitioning between two distinct local governments, economies, and time zones, with the North operating on Pacific time and the South on Mountain time. At the extreme northern edge of the peninsula lies an infrastructural marvel, the San Isidro Port of Entry. Connecting the sprawling Mexican metropolis of Tijuana with San Diego, California, this immense facility holds the title of the busiest land border crossing in the Western Hemisphere, and frequently in the entire world. Every single day, upwards of 100,000 people and tens of thousands of vehicles cross this boundary legally. This massive daily migration is driven by a deeply intertwined transnational economy. Commuters cross for employment, students cross for education, and millions cross annually for tourism, medical care, and to visit family. The sheer volume of traffic has fostered a unique binational culture where Tijuana and San Diego effectively function as a single massive metropolitan area, highlighting how human geography and economics can seamlessly bridge an international geopolitical divide. When discussing world-class wine, Mexico might not be the first country that springs to mind, but the Baja California Peninsula is rapidly changing that perception. Just a short drive south of the US border lies the Val de Guadalupe, a picturesque agricultural region that produces approximately 70 to 80% of all Mexican wine. The secret to its success lies in its perfect geography. The northern segment of the peninsula enjoys the exact same Mediterranean microclimate as Southern California and the coastal regions of Italy and Spain. Warm, sun-drenched days, followed by cool, foggy nights courtesy of the Pacific Ocean, create the ideal conditions for cultivating grapes. Over the past 2 decades, the Val de Guadalupe has exploded from a handful of rustic vineyards into a massive hub for luxury culinary tourism, boasting striking modern architecture, boutique wineries, and world-renowned farm-to-table restaurants. The bustling, luxurious tourist mecca of Los Cabos, situated at the very southern tip of the peninsula, is not a naturally evolved city. It's a masterstroke of manufactured economic geography. 50 years ago, Cabo San Lucas and San Jose del Cabo were sleepy, highly isolated fishing villages, accessible only by boat or rugged dirt tracks. In the 1970s, the Mexican government's Tourism Development Agency identified the region's stunning weather and dramatic coastline as an untapped gold mine. They poured immense federal resources into building building an international airport, paving the Trans-Peninsular Highway, and laying the groundwork for massive resort infrastructure. The gamble paid off spectacularly. Today, Los Cabos is an absolute economic powerhouse, driven almost entirely by luxury hospitality, championship golf courses, and sport fishing, drawing millions of international tourists annually and completely transforming the demographic and economic landscape of the South. The human geography of the Baja California Peninsula is defined by profound demographic shifts and continuous migration. Tragically, the indigenous populations that originally inhabited the peninsula for thousands of years, such as the Guaycura, Paricu, and Cochimi, were almost entirely decimated by European diseases following Spanish colonization. Because the harsh desert environment deterred widespread settlement for centuries, the peninsula remained sparsely populated until the mid-20th century. Today, the vast majority of the region's modern residents are migrants, or the direct descendants of migrants, who relocated from mainland Mexico. They were drawn by the promise of economic opportunity, migrating northward to work in the expansive agricultural fields of the San Quintin Valley, the booming manufacturing plants along the US border, and the incredibly lucrative tourism sector in the south. Consequently, Baja's culture is a vibrant, modern melting pot of broader Mexican tradition. In most ways, the US state of California gets the entire spotlight, but Baja California is a true geographic gem that is quite different from its namesake cousin to the north. And for that reason, I'm stoked to include it as one of my top 10 geographies of 2026. Hey, speaking of top geographies, if you want to see the rest of the top 10, head over to thebite.co, my brand new geography community, where I'm building something truly massive. There, you'll find that article, as well as ad and sponsor-free videos, and thousands of other geography enthusiasts. So head on over to thebite.co and subscribe today. I hope you enjoyed learning all about Baja California. If you did, be sure to check out this video all about the Caspian Sea. Thanks for watching. See you next week.